Module 1, Introduction to French Language, serves as the opening gateway to the course. This title slide sets both the tone and the promise of what learners will experience. The course title, French Language, appears clearly to frame the subject, while the module title anchors learners in the starting point of their journey. The central tagline, Parle français, c'est ouvrir une porte sur le monde, is placed prominently to inspire motivation from the very first moment. Its English translation, Speaking French opens a door to the world, follows immediately to ensure comprehension for beginners. Together, they communicate the core value proposition of learning French. It is not just vocabulary and grammar, but access. Access to new cultures, countries, opportunities, and ways of thinking. Visually, this slide should feel welcoming and global. When presenting, pause here to let the quote land. You can. Module 1, Intro. Alright, before we dive in, let me show you where we're going in Module 1. Think of this as our map. No surprises, no getting lost. First, we start with the French alphabet and pronunciation. Same 26 letters you already know, but they sound different. French is music, so we need to tune your ear before we do anything else. Second, accents and special characters. These little marks A, C, they are not decoration. In French, they change the meaning completely. One mark can turn us into two. So we master those early. Then we get to the fun part, basic greetings and farewells. This is your social password in French. You can't walk into a shop, a classroom, or someone's home without saying bonjour first. So we'll practice it until it feels natural. After that, introducing yourself. Just 3 things, your name, where you're from, and something you like. That's enough to start any conversation. We'll also cover the grammar twist. Everything in French has gender, even tables and chairs. Next is a big one, formal versus informal speech, tu versus vous. This is the most important social choice you make in French. Get it wrong and you can sound rude without meaning to. Get it right and doors open. We'll make it simple. And finally, conclusion. We recap what you can now do, and I give you one small action step so you use French today, not someday. Before we touch the alphabet, let's answer the big question, why French? Why spend your time on this language? Because French is a global language of opportunity. First, it's spoken on all 5 continents. Not just France. French lives in Europe, Africa, North America, parts of Asia, and the Caribbean. English is the only other language with that reach. That means when you speak French, you're understood from Paris to Dakar to Montreal. Secondly, it's the official language in 29 countries. France, yes. But also Canada, Belgium, Switzerland, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, the list goes on. Learn French once, unlock 29 doors. Third, French is a language of power. The United Nations works in French. The Red Cross, the Olympics, the European Union, all of them use French for diplomacy. If you want to work in international relations, NGOs, or global business, French is on the job description. Fourth, it's an economic key, especially for Africa. Francophone Africa has some of the fastest growing economies in the world. Tech, finance, development, French gets you into the room. And fifth, culture. Hugo, Descartes, Molière. Fashion in Paris. Cinema in Cannes. Cuisine that the world copies. Philosophy that shapes how we think. French doesn't just give you words. It gives you Victor Hugo in his own words. There's a saying, le français est une langue de cœur et d'esprit. French is a language of heart and mind. It's logical, precise. That's the mind. But it's also poetic, emotional, that's the heart. So you're not just learning vocabulary. You're getting a passport. To jobs. To countries. To books and films and people you can't reach in English alone. That's why we're here. And that's why the next slide, the alphabet, matters. Because every one of these doors opens with a sound. Before we touch... Alright, let's tune our ears. The French alphabet. Same 26 letters you've known since you were a kid. A to Z. Nothing new there. But, and this is the key, they make different music in French. If you use your English sounds, you'll be understood, maybe. But you'll sound like a tourist. If you use French sounds, doors open. People smile. They switch from English back to French because you sound like you belong. So let's fix the two letters that trick everyone. First one, G. In English you say G. In French, G is joy. Say it with me, joy. Lips relaxed, tongue in the middle. Joy. That sound shows up in bonjour. Not bongo. Bonzo. If you say bongo, French speakers hear it. It's like hearing someone say Paris instead of Paris. Second one, J. In English you say J. In French, J is joie. Try it, joie. Same soft sound. J m'appelle. Not J m'appelle. It's Z m'appelle. Joie. These two sounds alone will change how French people hear you. Master G as joy and J as joie today, and you've already removed 80% of the accent that marks you as a beginner. We'll go through the rest of the alphabet in practice, but I want you to remember this, the alphabet didn't change. The music did. And now you know the first two notes. Ready to hear how those notes change whole words? Let's talk vowels next. Alright. Let's talk about the heart of French pronunciation, the vowels. French has 6 vowels, A, E, I, O, U, Y, same letters as English. But the way we use our mouth is completely different. The hardest one for English speakers is U. And if you get this sound right, French people will actually stop and say, your accent is good. So let's do it together. Here's the trick. First, shape your mouth like you're going to say go, like in the word food. Lips rounded, pushed forward. Got it? Hold that shape. Now, with your lips still in that bo shape, try to say E like in the word see. Don't move your lips. Keep the bo shape, but say E. The sound that comes out is the French U. It's not O and it's not E. It's right in the middle. Try it, too, salad, on. If your lips move, you're doing it wrong. Keep them rounded the whole time. That one sound is why people know you're learning French. Master it, and you sound 50% more French instantly. Now, the other thing that makes French sound like French, nasal vowels. We call it the French twang. In English, all the sound comes out of your mouth. In French, some of it goes through your nose. When you see combinations like an N, in, on, you don't pronounce the N. You send the sound up into your nose and stop. So pain isn't pain like hurt. It's a nasal pun where the N disappears. Bone isn't bone. It's a bone with a sound in your nose. Don't worry about getting them perfect today. Just know this, French you uses your lips, and nasal vowels use your nose. 2 places English doesn't usually go. That's why French sounds like French. And now you know where to feel it in your mouth. Next, let's look at the consonants, and the big secret, most of them are silent. Now for the secrets that make you sound French, the consonant rules. Rule number 1, and this is huge, in French, the final consonants are usually silent. D, P, S, T, X, Z, at the end of a word, you just drop them. You don't say them. At all. So Paris is not Paris. It's Paris. The S is gone. Salad is not salad. It's solu. The T vanished. Pied, that means foot, is not pied. It's piori. The D disappeared. English speakers always pronounce them. That's how French people know you're new. If you say the final S in Paris, you sound like you learned French from a textbook. Drop it, and you sound like you learned it in France. Now, there's an exception, and we use the word careful to remember it. C-A-F-L, if you see one of these at the end, you do pronounce it. Avec, you hear the C avec. Cher, you hear the A, cher. Neuf, you hear the F, neuf. Avril, you hear the L, avril. Everything else, silent. That's the careful rule. Rule number 2, the French R. This one's not in your throat like English. It's not air. It's in the back of your mouth, almost like you're gargling water. Try it, clear your throat lightly. That sound. That's a rule, Paris, merci. It's not Paris, it's Paris with that soft R in the back. Don't roll it like Spanish. Don't say it like English. Just a light sound from the back of your throat. Rule number 3, liaison. This means linking. Sometimes when a word ends with a silent consonant and the next word starts with a vowel, that silent consonant wakes up and jumps to the next word. Les amas, by itself, les ends in a silent S. But les amas becomes les amis. The S moved over to join amos. You don't say les amis. You say les amis. It makes French flow like music instead of stopping between words. Last rule, H is always silent. Always. Hotel is hotel. Is om. If you pronounce the H, you sound English. So just pretend it's not there. Now let's talk about the small marks that make a big difference, accents and special characters. In English, if you miss a dot on an I, nobody cares. In French, if you miss an accent, you change the whole word. You can accidentally say the wrong thing. Here are the critical ones you cannot mix up. First, a versus-o. The letter A with no mark means has. ILL, he has. The letter R with that little mark leaning to the left means to or at. J'y vais au Paris, I go to Paris. Same letters, totally different meaning. If you write IL Paris, you're saying he has Paris. Which would be nice, but probably not what you meant. Second, OU versus O. OU means O. Café OU de, coffee or tea. OU with the mark means where. O est la gare, where is the station? Ask for café au de and people will be confused. You just asked for coffee where tea. The mark matters. Now the main accents you see. A, that's called accent aigu. It always makes an I sound. Café, pa, bb. Mouth almost closed, like I in say. Café, cfi. A, accent grave. This makes an et sound. Trace, pair, mare. Mouth more open. Trace, tray. Pair, pair. E, accent circumflex. It's the little heart. Also sounds like e, but often makes the vowel longer. For a, hotel, mime. For a, effore. Hotel, hotel. C, cicidio. This only goes under the letter C. It makes C sound like S even before A, O, or you normally see before A says co. But français. We want français, not franqué. So we put that little tail under the C to make it soft, français. E trimmer. 2 dots. This means pronounce the vowels separately. Noël, Noël. 2 syllables. Without the dots it would blur together. With the dots, you split them. And 2 special characters you see all the time. The apostrophe, l'ami. In French, if a word ends with a vowel and the next word starts with a vowel, we drop the first vowel and use an apostrophe. L'ami becomes elami. It's smoother. L'ami sounds clunky. L'ami flows. finally, we get to use French with real people. Let's start with the most important word in France, bonjour. Bonjour means hello, good morning, and good day all in one. And here's the rule you need to know. You say bonjour before anything else. Before you ask a question. Before you order coffee. Before you ask for directions. In French culture, not saying bonjour first is like walking into someone's house without knocking. It feels rude. So every conversation starts with bonjour. Say it with me. Bonjour. Bonjour. Remember that J is joy, and the on is nasal, the sound goes through your nose. Bonjour. Now, bonjour works from morning until about 6 p.m. After 6 p.m., you switch to bonsoir. That's your good evening. Bonsoir. Same on sound in the nose. You use bonsoir when you walk into a restaurant at night, or when you meet friends for dinner. Next, salad. This is your casual hi or bye. You only use salad with friends, family, kids, or people your age. Never say salad to a stranger, your boss, or someone older than you. Now that you can say hello, let's learn how to tell people who you are. This is your basic self-introduction, and it only takes 3 pieces. First piece, your name. In French you say je m'appelle. Now we get to the part where you actually talk about yourself. In French we call this a présenter, to present yourself. Tell them who you are. That's the whole goal. And you do it with 3 pillars. Just 3. Nothing complicated. Pillar 1, your name. You say je m'appelle. It means I call myself. Je m'appelle Aminatu. Je m'appelle Paul. Simple. Je m'appelle. And right after someone gives you their name, you reply enchanté. Enchanté. That means pleased to meet you. If you forget enchanté, it feels like you forgot to shake their hand. This is the most important social rule in French. If you get this wrong, you can offend someone without meaning to. If you get it right, you show respect and French people will warm up to you immediately. In English we only have you. In French we have tu and vous. And choosing the wrong one is like calling your boss dude or calling a 5-year-old child sir. It just feels wrong. So here's how you decide. Use tu when the person is your equal or close to you. That means friends, family, kids, classmates, and people your age or younger. Tu is informal. It's friendly. It's what you use when there's no power difference and no distance between you. You're saying, we are on the same level. Use vous for everyone else. Vous is for strangers, older people, your teacher, your boss, anyone in a position of authority, and any group of people, even if it's a group of your friends. So where are we now? Let's look back at what you can actually do after this first module. You can walk into any French space and not freeze. You know the first word is bonjour before 6 p.m. or bonsoir after 6 p.m. You say it before anything else, because in French culture respect comes before the request. That one word changes how people treat you. You can hear French now. You know G is joy and J is joie. You know the U in tu is not o, it's that special sound with your lips rounded. You know the S at the end of Paris is silent. You know on and go through your nose. Your ear is tuned. You might not make every sound perfect yet, but you can hear the difference. And hearing it is the first step to speaking it. You can leave a conversation the right way. Au revoir works every time. Au bientôt if you see them soon. Salut if it's a friend. You won't accidentally be rude when you walk away. You can introduce yourself. Je m'appelle. Je viens de. James. 3 sentences. Name, country, one thing you like. And you know that every noun has gender, lu for masculine, Law for feminine, so you learn new words with their article attached. Law table. Lou lever. And you know the rule that matters more than grammar. Two for friends, kids, and equals. Vous for strangers, older people, bosses, and groups. When in doubt, vous. Because this choice tells people how you see them. It's about respect, not vocabulary. So here's your challenge before Module 2. Do one thing in French today. Real life. Not in your notebook. Say bonjour to someone. Introduce yourself with your 3 sentences. Use vous with a stranger. One real moment. Because French isn't homework. It's a skill you use with people. You started this module with 0. You're ending it with a voice. You can greet. You can present yourself. You can live politely. You understand the sounds. You understand the social code. That's not basic French. That's survival French. That's the foundation every fluent speaker starts.